Really? And you gave me a
Effective
hint.
coaching. Well. After a lot of discussions in the background, Dr. Clinton, I am so excited to have you on this podcast for Toast Talks with CoachBusi. Toastmaster Clinton, Dr. Clinton, friend, fellow traveler in the Toastmaster world. Tell us, who is Dr. Clint? Tell us about yourself.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I was definitely looking forward to this conversation. It has been a while, but finally here. Dr. Clinton Kadochi is a medical doctor, a mental health expert, and a Toastmaster fanatic, I would say.
Woo!
I do consider myself an introvert, and that's because I do have a background of stammering, and just getting to a place where I'm an eloquent speaker helps me to advocate for people that perhaps have got backgrounds that disadvantage them to show up in their natural element in their professional circles and also their personal lives, really. And so Dr. Clinton Kadochi is that dynamic leader who
Well,
has.
allow me to, I can see you running with this, but did you say you used to stutter? I've listened to you. I've never heard that story. Really?
I used to stutter. I still do at times, but I've gotten to develop a pace and a tactic that I use to actually talk more timely, test words. I get to know the exact words that I need to use and those that I don't need to use, like I'm doing right now. And so you won't get it if you don't know.
I the first time that we interacted, you were actually in China. And
Yes.
this is the beauty of Toastmasters. You go all over. I mean, now you are in Zambia, am I correct?
Yes, I'm in Zambia now,
But
in my
our
home
first
country.
interactions, you were in China, and we
Yeah.
just kind of kindred spirits hit it off, you know. And from that time
Yeah.
to now, I really have not heard anything that would have given me a hint that you have a stutter. How has Toastmasters weighed in?
All right. I think Toastmasters has been able to give me structure. When I joined Toastmasters about 4 years, 9 months ago, that was in 2020, just in the heat of the pandemic. Like you have said, I was in China. And at the time, a number of things that were doing that side had to slow down. I lost my job at the time, and I was quarantined for 5 months. Now, in those 5 months, in the second month, I was exposed to the online world. And so, whilst I was busy networking in this online world, I got to know about Toastmasters. And Toastmasters was that platform that I really saw myself doing a lot. I have a background of partial public speaking, I would say, which actually emanated from debate in secondary and later on in my early adulthood. I've been a preacher of the gospel, and so the pulpit is something that I used to actually help my public speaking. However, I was just talking, right? But in, when I got into the world of Toastmasters, I got to understand that there's a difference between public talking and public speaking.
Wow.
There is a structure that you need to have as you're articulating and communicating. I got to learn about the introduction, main body, conclusion, call to action, a number of things that you would need to structure your speech. And the very fact that the Toastmasters program is quite different in that it has that instant feedback that we get to receive every after we present. That in itself just challenged me and put me in a space where I was eager to know areas I needed to improve. I look back and I realize that if it wasn't for Toastmasters helping me to understand that you don't only have to speak, but you have to work on the areas that you need improvement on for you to become an articulate speaker, I don't think I would have become what I have become. So really, Toastmasters has played a very big role in just helping me have the structure, and it has helped me to have a voice. What do I mean by that? In Toastmasters, I got to learn about brand visibility as well because of the network of people that I found here. I found people that were quite intentional on who they are in the professional space, which also challenged me to position myself and not only pursue my dreams, but position myself to attract my dreams. And that is an influence that I saw from a lot of people I was looking up to that I found in Toastmasters. So briefly, I think that's how I'd answer.
Oh, nice. You know, you keep unwrapping this gift who is Dr. Clint to me. I heard you say just a moment ago that you are also a minister of the gospel. I now have two places where I want to say, ministers out there, timekeeping. People want to listen to the gospel timelessly. Correct or correct?
Yeah, correct.
So it has not just helped you with your professional side, but also with being a minister of the gospel. And as you say, talking and speaking different, very different. You are so correct. You are so correct. As a doctor now, how does it help you? There must be doctors out there who are thinking, I'm a doctor, I've done my 7 years. What else do I need? How has Toastmasters actually weighed in and helped you as a doctor?
Thank you so much for that question. You know, it has really helped me outstand because, you know, I'm in a profession where a lot of people are egocentric based on the knowledge that they have, the positions that they've held, the experience that they've had in the field. However, I don't have, you know, much experience, like 10 years experience and all that. I've only been in the profession for, I think, 4 or 5 years now. But if you look at the impact that I've been able to make, I can all attribute it to Toastmasters because there are a couple of things in the healthcare system that we do have as insufficiency, things that are contributing to the inability of the healthcare providers to adequately give the quality of healthcare services to the patients. And there is that healthcare gap. However, I stand in as one of the advocates, advocating for mental wellness, mental health, where people would be able to understand that you are not only healthy because you're physically fit, but there is a need of the mental health aspect. And I am one of the few in my country, actually, that stands to advocate for mental health. I'm currently practicing at a mental health center and serving as the mental health director there. But how did I get myself such a position or such opportunities? It is because of how I was able to articulate the concerns, articulate the passion, and just articulate the solutions that the government and the people here in Zambia could be considering. And so there are a couple of projects and programs that we've been able to tailor together with my group, but communicating them is another thing. A lot of people have ideas, but they can't communicate them. Hence, they sit on their ideas.
Hold up. Right there. Repeat that statement. A lot of people have
ideas, but they can't communicate them eloquently. They cannot convince, persuade, they cannot negotiate, they cannot get the attention when they speak. The confidence in them isn't built, and Toastmasters comes in to just build that confidence. Like the mission says, it is a supportive and positive environment that helps members to build their confidence whilst developing leadership and communication skills. So I believe
Music to
that.
my ears. Music to my ears. Do you know Toastmasters is such a wealth of tools that are in there? You mentioned the timekeeping, you mentioned confidence, eloquence, persuasive, there's
Yeah.
persuasion tactics and skills, all that as you go through your paths. May I ask, which was your first pathway?
My first pathway was dynamic leadership, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I
And
thoroughly enjoyed it.
mhm,
At the time, I was actually heading an NGO of youths that are passionate about different projects. And when I was heading that, I needed those dynamic leadership skills. I needed to communicate my vision, but at the same time, uh, appear multifaceted in a way because I was just starting up and I
mhm.
was also starting up my career. And so I had to juggle, the leadership responsibilities. And I felt dynamic leadership would really help me navigate that phase of my life. And so that was my first pathway, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Pathway 2.
Pathway 2 actually is not done. I'm on my third pathway, but pathway 2 is not done. Pathway 2 is innovation planning.
Okay,
Pathway
but
2
you
is
are on your
innovation planning.
third.
Yes, which I think it's because of the projects that I was having, the demands that I was having. I let go of innovation planning. Not really let go. I haven't been working on those projects yet, but I moved to persuasive influence because I needed the skills in persuasive influence for particular projects that I was doing early this year. And so I had to switch to persuasive influence, which I'm almost finishing. And I would definitely go back and finish the projects in innovation planning.
Absolutely awesome. The flexibility in Toastmasters is
Yeah,
it's a superpower for the organization. Let's put it that way.
it is.
I am Coach Busi, and my first pathway. Would you want to hazard a guess?
Let me guess. It it could either be presentation mastery or dynamic leadership. These two, one of them.
Well, when I did my test, I went for effective coaching.
Really, Angie, give me
Effective
a hint.
coaching.
Give me a hint. I decided to overlook.
I did give you a hint. Listening skills.
I get
We
it now.
missed it a little bit there. Now,
Yes.
Toastmaster Clinton, is there anything that you would say if you were to make a call of action to anyone who is sitting on the fence, who is listening to this? Because primarily what we want Toast Talks with Coach Busi to be is for people to come and hear real stories from living, breathing Toastmasters. We don't fabricate the excitement. This
No.
is the excitement that we share in Toastmasters. I'm going to give you a minute or two just to present and entice someone who is sitting and going, $60. Over.
That's a good one.
Mhm.
It's not really even about the money. It's about what you gain because I joined Toastmasters. Of course, I was attracted to the very fact that I'll be able to speak well. However, I got immersed in the rich network of possibilities. The very fact that when you become a member, you're not only a member to that local club, but you are able to tap into the international audience, the international clubs. Not only that, but you have a story. And as a person that has gone through different experiences in life, you need to tell that story
Mm,
in your own.
mm,
You need to give a narrative that you are proud of, a narrative that you will be confident in, and nobody else can share that story but you. Sharing your story may not necessarily be like being a keynote speaker somewhere, but sharing your story would be that you would be able to tap into the public speaking techniques to just know how best you can promptly articulate yourself at any given moment. And you would be able to share the side of your story. True. There are a lot of platforms out there giving public speaking and leadership coaching. However, Toastmasters stands out. Why? Durability. This year, we're celebrating 100 years of existence. Now, what does that mean? It means you are joining a global community of people and systems and structures that have stood the test of time. These are platforms, structures, and systems that have been able to survive pandemics. They've been able to survive wars. They've been able to survive the different stages of revolution and civilization. We're currently, in the fourth industrial revolution, but Toastmasters has been around. It fits in. One thing that I actually say is that the time I joined Toastmasters, it was mainly online during the pandemic. People were not meeting physically. However, when I joined, I felt like it was meant to be an online platform, public speaking thing.
Yes.
However, I got to realize that, wait. These people have been around and they were actually even meeting in person. How great is that? We adapted to the change, and we made the adaptation seem like it was a norm. That is the power of systems and structures that have stood the test of time. And so when you join Toastmasters, you become a person that will benefit from these well-tested structures. I am currently heading a mental health center, like I said, but I'm also pioneering a platform where I am bringing together quiet people that we call introverts and ambiverts, right? These are people, as a result of their quietness, they are usually seen as people that are reserved, people that can't articulate themselves. But because I identify myself as an introvert as well, I'm able to mirror some structures that I've seen from Toastmasters, some, techniques that I've seen work in the world of Toastmasters into this platform that I'm forming. We are starting out as just masterclasses and helping people learn introversion and the art of public speaking and just how to overcome social anxiety. And I've been able to jump on that inspiration with confidence because of Toastmasters. Now, imagine that idea that you have. If you were to come in this oven that will bake you and become that person to carry that vision, imagine how many projects in your life that you will actually get started on. But you haven't yet started. And the answer really would be that you haven't started because you haven't joined Toastmasters. So get in this arena and you will see yourself not only fly, but soar.
What a pleasure to have had a pastor, a minister, because when you give a minister a mic, never mind that he tells you that he's an introvert. I want to believe that there is a place where you can flourish, and you have done justice to the heartbeat of what I want to put out there about Toastmasters. It's not a private club. It's not a secret association. It's not for one type of people. I am on the extrovert side. I want to stand up and start dancing when you are speaking because I get that excited. But that doesn't make me better than you because you are on the softer, quieter place. My book of wisdom tells me that each and every person is fearfully and wonderfully made. And When in that same book of wisdom, the first thing that happened was there was a word that was spoken, and it went out and it created all things that we now to have in this world. If it was important in the beginning for a word to be sent out, it's still important now for words to be sent out. So, fellow Toastmaster, future Toastmaster, when are you joining us so that your word can be sent out? You know, Dr. Clint, you touched on something where you were talking about it's not everyone who's going to have a platform to speak on. When I do my coaching and I'm speaking to young ladies and young men, I always say to them, when you go out, show your best self out to the world. And before people get to know you, they get to hear you and they get to see you. So dress well and speak well and present yourself well out into the world. Thank you so much for joining me today on this podcast. I am so excited for the people who are going to watch. And I look forward to people saying, oh, you're the Dr. Clint we saw on Toast Talks with CoachBusi. Thank you so much. And I wish you well on your second and third pathway. And I want to hear from you after you're done.
Thank you so much. I've thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. I was definitely looking forward to it, and you are doing amazing things. Looking forward to watch this episode and the other episodes that you definitely have. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome, Doc. Thank you. And we'll meet each other in the Toastmaster pathways. Bye now.